Hello guys, Winneba Aboakyre is getting closer and a lot of people don't know the history behind it. People get to know that there are two groups, Tafo and Dentifo. They go into the forest to hunt and get the deer and for them to come back home, but they don't know what entails. Guys, we have a lot to let you know about it, and this is the history about Aboakyre. Come to listen, guys.
So you are welcome to Osimpam Heritage Center. My name is Winneba, and today I'm here to take you through the Aboakyre Festival, the history of the Aboakyre Festival. So before we start with the history, I want us to understand certain things. This place is called Simpa. Mostly people call this place Simpa, but the name is Osimpam. Osimpam is the man who led the people of Simpa from Sugar Empire. Then times Sugar Empire. The Sugar Empire was made up of two different kingdoms, the Mali and then the southern Mauritania. So from there, they arrived at Penche, and then later, around the 12th century, they moved. So Simpa is not a name, it's an appellation. It's not a royal name, it's an appellation. And he was given that name, and the name signifies great building and then good organizing. That is why he was given that name, Osimpam. And mostly people also call this place the Futu. The word the Futu simply means mixed up people of different ethnic groups, customs and traditions. So let's zoom our attention to the history of the Aboakyre Festival. So the natives of Simpa adore and hold in high esteem their principal god Otu, for leading the ancestors from Timbuktu to this place. Oral records indicate that all along their migration, their leaders propitiated the deity for all forms of protection against the numerous challenges that confronted them, including diseases and hunger. At their present location, the annual rites were performed by the principal elders of Otuano, who established Simpa. Penjo Otu and his sons did enjoy human sacrifice, but this had to change with the dawning of civilization. Slaves were kept for these purposes, but the gruesomeness of the rituals created a social concern that led to the consultation with the god for more human alternative. The alternative leopard was difficult to obtain, as the capture of a single animal resulted in the loss of many more lives. It was also noted by then that the leadership of the family would have deserted town. Eventually, the deer became the acceptable substitutes for human sacrifice. All this while the propitiation and the preparation of the ambuja was the sole preserve of the principal elders of Otuano. So the capture of the live deer, like the leopard, required many more hands than the members of the royal family could find. Additional hands required were solicited from the local military as a service to the school. So the change in form, the involvement of the local military, and the appeasement of the god became public and statewide affair. So this marked the birth and the origin of the Aboakyre Festival. So let's look at the local military, which is the Asafo. They are very important when it comes to celebration of the Aboakyre Festival. So even before the Aboakyre became public and statewide affair, there existed the local militia, the vanguard organization for communal work and defense of the community. The unique character of the Aboakyre Festival can be attributed to the development of the Asafo into hierarchical institutions, purposely for providing the king with the live deer annually to appease the deity of the Futu states. King Bonzabe II, he ruled from 1560 to 1600s. He created Asafo and named it Akonfo, which later became known as Tuafo Asafo #1. Later, his own son, a successor and a reformist, King Bonzabe, he ruled from 1600s to 1666. He also created Asafo and named it Dentifo Asafo #2. He also established a new house out of the Otuano house, Piato to become the nucleus of the new Asafo. He also established and appointed Tufun Yinistu to serve as a liaison chief between the paramountcy and the Asafo group. So within the Asafo is divided into 3 sub-groups. That is both Tuafo and the Dentifo. For the Tuafo, they have what you call Akonfo Azafo. They also known as Akonfo. They also have Apejafo. They are the firefighters. And then they have Trimamfo. The Trimamfo, they are the fraud detectors. Then within the Dentifo, they are also divided into 3. We have Asumfo, that is the servants. We have the Petufo, they are from Petuano. Then we have Nchimbafo, that is those who came later. And so these 3 groups are also further divided into 3. We have the Mpenyimfo, or Enyimpa, as in Ifutu. And then we have Insan. Then we have Assam. So during processing and expedition, you see the Assam leading the Asafo, followed by the Insan. Then the Mpenyimfo, they are behind. So let's look at some of the differences between the 2 Asafo, because they were created by 2 different people. So they have their own views and what they like and what they dislike. So the costumes of the 2 Asafo group are distinct in color. It serves to differentiate them while giving cosmetic appeal during celebration. So the fabrics used by the 2 Asafo groups are white, green, blue, and violet. The fabrics used by the Dentifo are red, yellow, orange, pink with black. Another form of differentiation between the 2 Asafo group is in the use of musical instruments. Instruments used by the 2 Asafo group are rattle, beagle, and 3-in-1 gong. And the instruments used by the Dentifo are pearl and 2-in-1 gong. They also perform Akoswedontoba, or we have Asafo dance. Each of the Asafo group has its own Asafo dance. So the Tuafo perform Akoswedontoba, and according to history, during their long migration, the men, after a hard day's work, would drum, and Akoswedontoba, the grandchild of Kwame Jete, would dance to entertain the men, hence this name Akoswedontoba. The Dentifo perform Owamiro. That is their Asafo dance. So we have 2 forms of flutes. During the flutes, that is during procession and expedition, the Safohene of Tuafo Asafo group sits at a wooden horseback, and it's around. We'll show it to you. The Safohene of the Dentifo, he and his group pose a crew on a wooden ship. So let's look at activities that we do during the Aboakyre. That is the first week of May. And I think this time around the date has changed. So maybe we'll brief you on that. During the first day, the king and his people, or his entourage, they do cleanups, including some of the members within the town. They do general cleanups, set up banners, do many other things. Then on Tuesday, they move to a landing beach where they do pool. There's what we call pool. They both group engage in pool. So one will stand at one side and the other one will also stand left. Then they'll pull a rope. So there is a line where if you're able to pull your opponents and is able to pass, then you become the winner. Immediately after the pool, the Tuafo, they invoke a god called the Ku. For that one, they don't come out with the god. They do it indoors. In similar way, the Dentefo also invoke a god called Sekeja or Efrim. Then on Wednesday, the same Tuafo also invoke a god called Katare. That one too, they don't come out with it. They do it indoors. The same day, Dentefo also invoke a god called Kofi. Then on Thursday, the Dentefo invoke and adore a god called Basabasa. So you see them with their fabrics. They are wearing red with the god. So they will go through all the town. Then on Friday, both groups will carry and adore their main gods. So the Tuafo, they invoke and adore a god called Jemisi. They start from 12 to 3 p.m. Immediately after that, the Dentefo also invoke and adore a god called Sikamba. That is a deadly small knife. They also start from 3 to 6 p.m. So early in the morning, Saturday, around 5 a.m., the Safohini of both groups, they, most especially the Tuafo, they use this rattle to awake their members. So they use the rattle to awake their members. They will all come, they will converge at one place, then they gather together and move to the hunting ground. But I was told that the chief priest prepare a concoction where when they are going to the hunting ground, they have to pass through the place and then fetch some of the concoction and put it on their head or smear it on their body. Immediately after that, the Dentefo will also awake their members using bell. They will also converge at one place, then pass through the place where they are prepared a concoction. So they use some of the concoction to smear their body or pour it on their head. Then they move to the hunting grounds. So when they go to the hunting ground and they're able to have a successful catch, they give the animal, they submit the animal to the king, where he also performs what we call acceptance rite. Acceptance rite, it involves pouring out libation and making an impression on the animal thrice with the right leg. Then immediately after that, they will also take the animal and submit the animal to people called Achampoano people. So they will also take the animal, tie the animal with the sticks, and hand over the animal to the priest and the priestesses. After that, I was told that they will put the animal down till the next day. So the last day, that is the Sunday, they do a ritual called Ebisetu. That is after they have slaughtered the animal. And let me say this. After slaughtering the animal, they will have to serve some of the gods. In fact, I was told that some foreign gods visit the main god, Penjotu. So what they do is that the priest and the priestesses, they cut the animals into pieces, they cook some of the animal, then they take some of the flesh, that is the uncooked one, and then add it to the cooked one, and then they prepare what we call mpotroba. The mpotroba is a kondo with palm oil. After cooking it, they spread some of the food through a ipe abazi. That is the way they serve the visited gods and other gods, smaller gods around. Then after that, they share the rest of the animal with the or they give some of the rest of the animal to the Aboakyre family, the Akramanu family, the Utuanu family. The head is given to the head of the kingmaker. So they have people who install a king. The head of that family is given the head of the animal. So let me take you through the process which they perform the ebisetu. And the ebisetu, the purpose is that they want to know what will happen in the course of the year. So an earthenware pot is placed bottom side up. 2 palm fronds are folded into 2 and placed on the invented pot. The chief priest picks the tubu. After offering libation, rounds it around its neck and places it on the pad placed on the invented pot. A gong is sounded as the people join in chanting for the tubu to fall on the good side. A 5 dartboard pattern are drawn with red clay, charcoal, salt, millet, and a white clay. A gong is beaten amidst incantation as the tubu runs over and falls on one of the marks, signifying what is to be happening or what will happen in the course of the year. So the red clay signifies bloody conflict and disaster. The charcoal signifies abundant rain. The white clay signifies peace and prosperity. The millet signifies bumper food harvest and good fishing season when it falls on salt. Thank you very much. Meet you next time.